Hi guys, this is Lupe and this is Jasenia. Welcome to Spooky Tales and Cocktails. Today's episode is going to be the haunted houses. Episode, what number, Jasenia? 6, right?
Is it 7?
Is it 7 or 6? Oh my
Girl, I
god.
think it's 7.
It's episode 7, guys. Excuse me.
No worries.
And also, today's cocktail of the week is going to be a sex on the beach. Ingredients consist of ice, 50 milliliters of vodka, 25 milliliters of peach Snapples, and 2 orange slices, juiced, plus 2 slices to garnish, and 50 milliliters of cranberry juice. And that's it. And then step 1 is to fill 2 tall glasses with ice cubes. Pour the vodka, peach Snapples, and fruit juice into a large jug and stir. Second step is divide the mixture between the 2 glasses and stir gently to combine. Garnish with the cocktail cherries and orange slices. What about you, Jasenia? What are you drinking today?
Unfortunately, I'm just drinking a regular beer, Victoria brand. But I'm imagining the one that you said, oh my god, putting an umbrella and the baby blue color it gets. It's that one, that Sex on the Beach?
No, it's the sunrise one that looks kind of sunrisey.
Oh,
Like kind of pinkish.
Oh my god, yeah, that sounds so good.
It really is. Last time I had one, it had like a grapefruit taste to it too.
Oh my god, nice.
Yep. But today, what we're gonna be talking about is basically we have three stories we're gonna share with you guys. It has to do with movie I don't know if you guys seen the Conjuring movie, the one that it said, the one I believe it's called
The Devil Made Me Do It?
The Devil Made Me Do It, which is based on a true story. It's kind of similar how it happened. It happened to this guy named David. And of course, Ed and Lorraine Warren, if you guys remember episode 5 or 6, we were talking about dolls. And we also talked about Lorraine and Ed Warren. But this time, since they're paranormal investigators and Lorraine Warren has the, that's able to see ghosts and stuff like that, she came to help this one family that was in need, that they thought that they were going through a possession. So they ended up doing like an exorcism to David when he was 19 years old. It was in the early 1980s. And then there was this other person that was close to them, which is Arn Cheyenne Johnson, the boyfriend of David's older sister Debbie. He alleged during the exorcism, Johnson asked the demon and that was possessing David to possess him instead, and the demon ended up complying to it. And then several weeks later, on February 16, 1981, Johnson stabbed his landlord Alan to death after a booze-soaked argument. Which is crazy how it worked. But then at the end of the day, Johnson ended up going to prison because they weren't able to prove that he was possessed. They kept saying that no demonic forces were, made him do it and stuff like that. So he was thrown in prison for quite a while until he was let out. But they ended up suing the Warrens for them having to go through all that. And in November 1981, a judge refused to allow defense in November 1981, and then he was convicted of first-degree manslaughter and sentenced to 10 to 20 years in prison. Just for all that. And it's crazy because that's exactly how it started. Like they started, if you guys seen the Conjuring movie, that's exactly how it started, but it's different people that were acting. But, you know, it's crazy how it all started and how a demon could possess another person when they're asking to be possessed. But, yeah, that's my story. What about you, Justenia? Do you have any questions?
That's insane. So I did not know that Ed and Lorraine, that they were sued. I never knew that.
Yeah.
For make, wow, wow. No, but other than that, no. I mean, that's, news to me.
Yeah, because they were, so they basically were being sued because they were saying that they were, exploiting people and manipulating, ways so they could seem like it's possessions when it's really not possessions. So at the end of the day, like, you don't know if it's true or not true, but that's what they said. This is like a true reality story, but the possession, they don't know if it really happened, just based on so much stuff that went on, that the possession only lasted, I think, a day or a week, and it stopped.
Oh,
Yeah, so who knows? Who knows if it's real or not real? I mean, they were the only ones there at that house, so they would actually know. But what they're stating is that it was never real and they were exploited and believing stuff that wasn't really true.
okay. Well, my story that I found, it's kind of the same thing. This is based off of in Querétaro, Mexico.
Yeah.
And it was a 33-year-old mom. Her name was Claudia Mijangos, and she ended up murdering her 3 children, like with knives. And everybody now, this happened a long time ago, but everybody now, like, they say that she was probably possessed by a demon for her to do that. So the whole story, a ver, espérame. Um, they say that she was mentally unstable,
Yeah.
like her whole life, and she was like, she would like be abusive to her husband. Like, let's say, like, just out of nowhere, like, freaking slashes tires. And there was one point that she actually tried, stabbing his head with scissors. So this happened on the 23rd of April. It all started because the husband, they were already going to get divorced. He goes and takes the kids to a fair, a kermes. That's a fair, isn't it? At a school? A kermes, I believe.
No, a kermes is like when somebody passes away and they fund money.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. Well, okay.
No, but
He
that's
ended
what
up
a
taking
kermes
his
is.
kids. Okay. He ended up taking his kids to a kermes. Them with the mom, and it turns out that the mom, Claudia, because the kids were going to a Catholic school, and Claudia, the mom, ended up getting a job there too. So she ended up messing around with one of the fathers there, and the dude was named Father Ramon. And like, he was an older gentleman. Y luego dijo el señor, ¿sabes qué? This is not right. I'm a father, and you're married. So he broke it off with her, and she ended up being furious. Like, she was super obsessed with the father, Ramon.
Yeah.
And so the husband had confronted her that day, like, I want to get back with you. I know you've been seeing him. And she was like, no, you're crazy, blah, blah, blah. And she ended up telling him that night, you know what? I don't want to be with you. I don't want to be with you. I don't love you. And then he was like, okay, I'm going to expose you. I'm going to expose you guys. And so that night, yeah, he left his kids con la mom. They're not living together. Y luego, the last words que ella le dijo a él, you are going to regret it. And so that same night, ella le habla a one of her friends, diciéndole que she's starting to hear voices y que está mirando devils and angels. And then the friend's name was Veronica. She was like, it's okay, relax, just go to sleep. I'll go visit you in that morning. And, I don't know, obviously she was mentally unstable. Entonces lo que hizo la señora, she grabbed 3 knives, just 3 knives for 3 of her kids, and the size they were, it was 40, 33, and 31 centimeters. So those were like the pretty good size of knives.
Yeah.
The kids are sleeping, ¿verdad? And this happened in la madrugada because she couldn't sleep. Obviously, she's hearing voices. Yeah, she had, you know, hung up with her friend. It's been a few hours. She can't sleep, and the voices are finally telling her to kill her kids. So she goes to each room. The first victim was her 6-year-old son, Alfredo. And when the police came, he was found on the stairs, and his whole hand was cut off, and he was laying in a pool of blood. Pero imagine una knife, a kitchen knife. I know, like the amount of force to actually cut a freaking bone off. Sorry. Okay.
Oh, so they were chopped?
The mom cut the kid's hand off, like con el knife, con el kitchen knife.
Damn.
Pero I'm like, not even my knives are that sharp, so she had a lot of force.
Butcher knife.
And then the next one was an 11-year-old, Claudia Maria, que era su oldest daughter, and she ended up stabbing her 6 times in sus pulmones, her lungs. But what she tried to do, she woke up and she ran downstairs to the kitchen, and the mom ended up, obviously doing stuff there in the kitchen, stabbing her, drags her back upstairs, and ends up, murdering her with those stabs, the fatal stab wounds in her lungs. And the last one was the 9-year-old daughter, Ana Belén. She was stabbed multiple times on her bed. Ella sí, like she wasn't able to get out of her bed. She was sleeping. So, and then what the mom ended up doing, she just ended up falling asleep next to her. But her whole dress was full of blood. La señora ya estaba bien covered in blood. Y ya you know how the friend was supposed to go meet her in the morning?
Yeah.
So she ended up opening the door. She finds the scene ahí in the stairs, the kid, and she was like, oh my God, something happened. Called the police, and the police thought someone murdered, all of them. They go upstairs and they see, the 2 girls on the same bed. The bed is soaked in blood.
Oh my God.
Y la señora está laying on the floor, and they thought she was dead, but no, she was alive.
What?
So
the
for
heck?
all they know, they thought that someone had come, and tried murdering all of them. Y como la señora estaba, conscious, la llevaron al hospital, and they were asking her questions like, what happened? What's going on? And she was like, no, I can't be here. I gotta go take my kids to school. Like, yeah, I guess she didn't remember. Ya cuando the investigators, the police, everybody's walking through the whole house, they say that there was 10 liters of blood everywhere, in those walls,
What's
the
that?
kitchen, the
That's
beds.
a lot of blood.
Yeah. What's a 2 liter? Like the soda, ¿verdad? So 2, 4, 6, 8,
Yeah.
10. Imagine like 4 of them. Like that's a pretty good amount.
Damn.
And yeah, so at the end, they determined that obviously it was her. They took her to the hospital, and they did tests, and they determined that she had epilepsy, schizophrenia, depression, psychosis, but she was very well aware of what she did, or what she committed.
Yeah.
So what they ended up doing, they took her to the psychiatric ward y le dieron 30 years. But in April 24th of 2019, yeah, her 30 years were done. She's 63 years old at that time. So what they ended up doing is that they let her go, but she still has to do the checkups and, continue going to treatment.
Damn, that's crazy.
And y ahora they say that place is haunted because of that. So I don't know if you the channel TV Azteca, they did an investigation in that same year, 2019, cuando la señora was released.
Uh-huh.
So there was investigators. They showed up with a medium, aka
And that's crazy how a
parapsychologist.
medium is able to see through stuff, huh? Because the medium could also see how it happened.
Yeah, that's it's scary, and it's insane. Everything they were experiencing there, dijeron que había a lot of paranormal activity, cold spots, voices, and when they were taking pictures, when they were going around the house, they caught a little girl in the picture.
Damn.
In one of the pictures, the doors started swinging, and then the investigators, they themselves, obviously they're not mediums, they can't see, but they felt like the sadness and like terror, I guess, that day when they were walking around the house. They found toys in that main room where, like, I guess the main murders happened, and they were saying that it was probably offerings from neighbors, people that go just to investigate themselves too. Y luego, where the daughter was found dead, that main room, las dos daughters.
Yeah.
The medium, he said that in that room, in that closet, that he saw one of the little girls that was curled up. Y que según le enseñó a él, like, I guess through mind, like pictures, like that.
Yeah.
She was confused who was stabbing her, that she wasn't able to see that it was her actual mom, like, stabbing her. That's what he says. Y luego el señor, the medium, he's like, I feel 4 demonic beings in this house. And the neighbors también, they claim that they've heard screams, like in the hours of the night, todo. Y the people that pass by the house, they've seen apparitions inside of the home. So, I mean, imagine something tragic like that. That is a haunted house.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I got for that one.
But I wonder if
what do you think?
I wonder if, like, if there was more to it, like more than demonic entities, because having demonic entities in a house is not good, because they get attached to you and make you do things that you're not supposed to do.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that's what the El Pueblo de Querétaro says, that the lady got possessed.
So she never got an exorcism done then?
No, she just went straight to the hospital, and then after that they sentenced her to the psychiatric ward. But ¿sabe qué? Dice que she's never showed remorse ever, so I have no idea.
Dang, that's crazy. And sad.
It is sad. Jesus.
Yeah. Can't believe she was able to murder kids, but then when you're in a state of mind like that, you just never know what that person's feeling or thinking, Because when you're possessed, I personally never been possessed, and I'm sure you haven't either, but I'm just saying, like, when you're in a possession, you just don't know. Probably she saw something that wasn't her daughter. You know what I mean? That was making her, because the devil plays with you in many ways. It makes you see things that are not there. It makes you think things that are not there as well. Who knows? It's scary and creepy. And it's really, really sad because the kids ended up dying.
I know. But imagine, like, you as a mom, would that ever cross your mind?
No, hell no.
I mean,
but like I'm telling you, if she was possessed, you have no control over your mind. You don't. Well, what I've seen in exorcisms and videos and stuff that I've seen, you have no control over your mind. The evil has more control of you than you have control of yourself.
Yeah, that might be true. I would never want to experience that.
That's sad. That's crazy though. I can't believe they never took her to a priest, but he could, See if she's possessed or something.
No, the
By a
priest was doing
demon.
something else. Father Ramon was doing something else.
Father Ramon, where were you at for her? No, I'm just kidding.
He was doing other stuff to her. I'm just kidding. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
No,
I
but
have
talking
another
about
one.
that, a lot of people say that. Like, a lot of people say
Okay.
nowadays that priests are not good priests. Like, if you've seen all these stories that priests have done to little kids, there's even this guy, the TikTok priest. I don't know if you've seen the guy that's always on TikTok,
Oh,
but
is it the guy that kind of jokes around?
yeah,
Like
the priest, yeah.
about.
And
Oh,
it's
okay.
crazy because
Uh-huh.
it even came out of his mouth that not all priests are good and people should watch their kids around them.
Oh wow.
That's scary.
Yeah, this world is pretty scary.
Yep.
I ended up having another one. I don't know if you want to hear it. This one's a little bit more shorter.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, so this one's called the Sallie House, and it's in Atchison, Kansas. Now that house was built in 1800s, and it is said to be haunted by a young girl who died in the house while undergoing surgery for her appendicitis. It's been featured a lot on the paranormal TV shows like Zach Baggins. I mean, he
Yeah.
went.
We should definitely go there and like make a video.
You actually are allowed to sleep in that house overnight, but
What
obviously you have
the
to pay.
hell? Are you serious?
Hmm. But let me tell you, I don't know if after this you're gonna want to stay because I don't know either. So there was multiple tenants that have had paranormal activity there. Okay,
Yeah.
and and it is said that men who live there or visit are always scratched or super scratches where it's almost bleeding out. And there's been witnesses that say that there's toys, balls moving on their own. Uh, and then people believe that Sallie is in fact the demon entity. Now, in 1993, the Pickmans they moved in and they were expecting a baby. Um, and that husband, his name was Tony. He would experience the worst. He had scratches on his chest and abdomen, and they would hear mysterious footsteps at night. When the baby was born, they had the nursery. In esa nursery, that's where it was said where that she passed away when the doctor was doing the surgery.
Mhm.
And then in that nursery, I guess the mom has stated that she has found all the stuffed animals arranged in a circle on the floor, and she puts them back, and then the next day they're still like that. And you know how the crib has a mobile, like those little. That's what it's called, isn't it? Like a mobile, where the crib is, so the kids can go to sleep, and it goes round and round.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. La
Yeah,
cosa que canta, ¿no? A veces canta.
yeah, and then you kind
Yeah.
of stick it on the crib, and it goes circles.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that thing would move on its own. Uh, and then there was a couple nights that the neighbor has told um the Pickmans, like, hey, why did you have the nursery on all night? The light was on all night, well, almost all night, obviously, because they ended up falling asleep. But she was like, we had the baby with us that night because he was crying so much. So then they started like freaking out. They had a dog, and the dog was always growling in the nursery room. And after that, a mysterious fire broke out in that house because obviously it kept escalating.
Yeah.
And the second tenant, I guess, I don't know, but now, like, there's a smudge on the basement, and it is said that there is a pentagram right there where that smudge is, where it said that the second owners were practicing the rituals, demonic stuff. Uh, but it is open to the public. It is, and visitors have witnessed when their video equipment they stops working, their full batteries, they're all drained. Experience moving objects, scratches, bruising during or after their visit, cold spots. And I guess there was a lady that brought in a guide dog, and the guide dog refused to enter that nursery. Psychics también dicen que they confirmed that there's presence of spirits. So, I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Now do you want to go visit?
No thanks. I don't think I'll last there. I'm already scared, a scaredy cat as it is.
I don't know, that thing when it right away when it said the pentagram in the basement, I'm like, no, thank you, no. Things that portals that have already been opened like that, like
Yeah, and it's
would
crazy
that be
because a lot
tempting?
of people like open portals without even knowing, because sometimes they do stuff without knowing what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Sí, yeah, eso sí, así como like mirrors too, right? Like mirrors
Yeah,
are portals,
yeah.
TVs. What else? I don't know what else, but no, thank you.
La water también is son portals.
The water? Like, what do you mean? Like just praying
Water.
over it, or in general,
Yes.
or what do you? Yeah,
But you
those
know
are my
what?
two
Even
stories.
I know that we're not talking about this topic anymore, but it's crazy because this top, even though it has nothing to do with this topic, it has to do with the like paranormal stuff. Well, not really paranormal, but it's crazy because I just remembered like 3 weeks ago I was on TikTok and I was hearing like some spooky stories and stuff, and I was researching stories, but I got caught up with this guy talking about the mob. You know how recently they've been seeing a lot of bodies at Lake Mead, but I don't know if you have heard, like right here, Lake Mead, where Las Vegas is, the Lake Mead
Yeah.
Lake. And they went to go do like a paranormal investigation. They brought all their tools and stuff, and they captured like voices telling them like how they died and how it happened, and they should leave. And it's crazy because the person that was there, well, the person que ya se había muerto that was there was telling them to leave, which they had no clue why they were telling them to leave, but the ghost was telling them to leave because there was a car that was trying to do stuff to them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they ended up finding out because there was a person that ended up chasing them out of there, and then they were trying to follow them with the car. But it's crazy. And also news story. I don't know if you guys seen on the news how they've been saying, I don't know if you guys believe in the apocalypse and stuff like that, but it came out in the news that ya encontraron two angels. And if you guys read in the Bible, I believe it says there's gonna be three angels. Uno va a ser de agua, uno va a ser de tierra, y el otro supposedly how we're gonna die. That, one is gonna be water, fire, and the other one, I don't know which one it is. I think it's air, if I'm right, or
Other air, earth. Oh my gosh.
yeah, crazy. I'm already tripping. And all these black holes, and then the freaking animals going in circles, and then the rare colored white animals coming out. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna share Jasenia's paranormal experience that her mom had. You guys are gonna hear Jasenia asking her mom questions, but that's her mom, telling us the story. So I'm gonna start playing it right now. Give me 1 second.
Ok. Era en los apartamentos Glenbrook, ¿verdad? Bien escondido donde estaba el Inca. Ya dijiste que había una lechuza, se paraba siempre cuando salía del trabajo yo en las noches. Bueno, más bien en las madrugadas, como las 4 llegaba y se oía siempre una lechuza allí arriba. Del árbol, donde estaba el edificio de nuestro apartamento. Sí, donde estaba el edificio del apartamento, y luego se oían muchos pasos arriba del techo, como si fuera el demonio. Sí, yo me acuerdo que yo también escuchaba los pasos allá arriba y no había acceso. Y no había nada. No había acceso allá arriba del edificio. Y según decían que esa esa escuela que estaba allí, atrás de los apartamentos que estaban embrujados, según. No sabes, a lo mejor, porque yo en las noches en las madrugadas cuando llegaba, se oían unos pasotes, era el demonio, patas sí, como corriendo, como que corrían patas, en la noche. Patas de esas de vaca o de animal. Ay, no, si oía así arriba en el techo. Pero me acuerdo un día llegaste como en la tarde y te viniste corriendo y cerraste la puerta que según que te espantó una lechuza o no sé. No, sí, pero era la lechuza que se paraba allí siempre en el árbol. ¿Y qué son lechuzas? Según que son brujas, ¿no? Que se convierten en animales. A lo mejor era una lechuza que se paraba allí siempre en las madrugadas cuando llegaba yo a las 4 de la mañana. Llegabas a las 4 de la mañana y todavía estaba oscuro, ¿verdad? Ajá. Nadie se miraba y luego cuando entraba a mi apartamento se oían así como patadas como si fueran un animal, una vaca. Arriba del techo. Ajá. Okay.
That's one, and then this is the second one.
Okay. Oh, fue allá en nuestra tierra que se llama San Miguel el Alto, Jalisco. Mi mamá en vez vivíamos como en un plan donde hacían ladrillos y pues cuando íbamos a la tienda que nos mandaba mi mamá, pues estaba bien oscuro y una vez nos mandó y ¿a qué hora? Nos mandó esa ya, serían como las 10 de la noche. Y ya de regreso que me avientan una piedra y casi me pegaron. Le dije, ¿de dónde me aventaron piedra? Tendría como unos 12 años yo. Y luego me aventaron la piedra y pues me asusté. Y ya llegando a la casa, pues ya estaban durmiendo mamá y mis hermanos y todo, y me dejaron afuera y pues ay, yo tenía bien mucho miedo y le gritaba a mi mamá que me abriera y ay, me duró mucho para abrirme y luego en eso que volteo y miro un perro bien grandote al tamaño de un becerro y con los ojos bien colorados que iba caminando por la veredita y ay, pues más me dio bien mucho miedo y yo grité a mi mamá y duró para abrirme casi en la madrugada. ¿Como más de 30 minutos? Sí. Y nomás andabas gritando y ajá, y te mandó a las 10 de la noche y yo no sabía que tenía que regresar yo. Sí. Pues no sé, al caso de que pues me dejó hasta la madrugada, me vino abriendo allí. Pues a mí me dio bien mucho miedo porque en ese instante pasó el perrote ese y como que volteó para acá, para donde yo estaba y los ojos bien colorados, me dio más miedo. Pero es que era como un nahual, que dicen que los nahuales... Ándale, así. Yo creo de haber sido un nahual porque cuando volteó me miró con los ojos bien colorados y más me asusté. Y pues me tuve que aguantar, tenía bien mucho miedo y ya en la madrugada ya me abrió mi mamá. Ay, no. Ay, duré para que se me quitara eso porque... El espanto. Porque pues, íbamos a una huerta que hacían ladrillos, era ladrillera, cerca del río. Y allí se mantenía bien oscuro ese callejón. ¿Eso era cuando eras niña en San Miguel de los Altos, Jalisco? Ajá, tendría como 12 años yo entonces.
But yeah, that's the story that we received. Right, Jasenia?
Yeah, that isn't that insane? Do you think más allá como en el rancho cosas since there's not a lot of technology, you pay more attention to your surroundings and more paranormal experiences happen, you think?
For sure, yeah. And it's crazy porque nada más allá en los ranchos and all that, you freaking hear about La Llorona, el chupacabra, las brujas. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. There's more stuff to it because you pay more attention to your surroundings.
Jesus.
The email is spookytalesandcocktails@gmail.com. And then
Yes,
the
the letter
Instagram,
N.
yeah, the letter N, you guys. And then the Instagram is spookytales_n_cocktails. Please, guys, send us your stories. We want to tell more of paranormal experiences. Let us know your stories. If not, your mom's stories, your dad's stories, your grandma's stories, any stories. Contact us, DM us. We'll let people know. If you want to be anonymous, we won't say your name. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. You guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Bye, guys. Good night.